back when I was skinny, borderline malnourished, right? Underweight according to the fucking BMI scale thing, right? Back when I was skinny, I had two real options, right? One of my options was bulk up, put on a fuck ton of muscle mass, be big and massive, or lean bulk and be lean and aesthetic, right? So basically just put on like lean muscle, have the nice abs and be aesthetic, right? And it was like I was a character in a video game, right? Starting off a new journey, right? So if you've played like some of these video games, you can start off as like a mage, you can start off as a ranger, you can start off as an assassin or some shit, right? It felt kind of like that, right? I had two different paths in front of me, right? So I couldn't really choose between the two, like what's going to be better for my grand North Star objective of just attracting as many girls as possible, right? I couldn't decide what's going to be more optimum, what's going to get me the most amount of girls possible, right? So, since I couldn't decide, I made the bright decision of doing both. So, I did both, right? I did both for a very considerable amount of time. So, I did the lean bulk for 7 months and I did the bulk for 8 months, right? So, let me take you through both parts, both journeys, right? So I started off my lean bulk, right? I started off at 154 pounds, which was like at the beginning of my journey, at the beginning of my training, because this is what I did first, right? I was skinny as fuck. I went to the gym. I started lifting weights for the very first time. I was progressively overloading. I was eating lean protein. I was having carbs. I was training like the 7 aesthetic muscles, the essential muscles that you need to build an aesthetic physique. So, in case you don't know, the 7 aesthetic muscles are neck, upper traps, lateral delts, upper chest, abs obliques, biceps, and lats, right? Those are the 7 aesthetic muscles, and these are basically the muscles which are at the center of building an aesthetic physique, right? So I was training these muscles, I was eating lean protein as I said, and I was putting on weight bit by bit, and the weight was basically muscle mass because I wasn't putting on body fat. I was putting on weight bit by bit, and after 7 months of this, I had put on about 16 pounds of muscle, right? So I went from 154, I went all the way to 170 pounds, and I was also, take this in, marinating this, I was also 9.1% body fat, which is just fucking lean, right? Lean as fuck, right? 9.1% body fat. My abs, the ones that I really wanted to, get the attraction from girls were there. Abs were like ridges, they were nice, defined. There was shadows under the abs if I stood like outside under daylight. I was lean, I was shredded, you could see my obliques. It was nice, it was amazing, right? And that was the first 7 months of my training, right? And then I did a bulk for 8 months, right? So this was now journey number 2. This was the second path, right? I did a bulk, right? This was totally different from the lean bulk, because in the lean bulk, I barely ate in a surplus. And this, I was eating like 4 or 5 meals, right? I was eating like 5 meals a day. I was eating in a surplus of like 500 calories a day, right? Eating a fuck ton of food, right? So I was having like 250 to 300, some days even 400 grams of protein, right? I was having like 400 grams of protein, a fuck ton of carbs, a fuck ton of fats, whatever. I was just having lots and lots of food, right? And of course, like some fucking science-based, some guy who watches Jeff Nippard's videos going like, but that's not optimum for gains. Yeah, you don't need that much protein. It's wasted, whatever the fuck, right? But that doesn't matter. I was just having a fuck ton of food, right, around me 24/7, around the clock, right? And I went from 170 pounds to 198, damn near pushing 200 pounds, right? I put on 28 pounds of muscle, mostly muscle mass, right? Didn't put on that much fat, but I did put on body fat. Not that much though. But I put on 28 pounds in that space of 8 months, right? I put on 28 pounds, right? Like a fuck ton of weight, right? And after that point, I was analyzing the overall results of both of these journeys, right? So when I did the lean bulk for 7 months, I was able to take the shirtless pictures. I was able to be outside shirtless, whatever, and I would post the shirtless pictures on social media. I'd post them on Instagram. I would get lots of likes from the girls. I'd start to get attention from the girls because they would see like my abs on Instagram. They're like, oh, okay, this guy is like pretty nice abs, he's lean, he's aesthetic, whatever the fuck, right? But if I would go out to like nightclubs, I would go out like just like everyday life, right? If I would put on a t-shirt, I would look small in a t-shirt because I'm only 170 pounds, right? I look small, I look skinny, right? So you couldn't really tell that I have a nice physique after the first 7 months that I trained. You couldn't tell that I had a nice physique just because I still looked quite skinny, but I was like super lean and aesthetic, right? So those was like the mission report after the 7 months, right? And then in the 8 months that I did a bulk, right, I put on body fat, yeah, but I filled out t-shirts, like every single t-shirt that I put on, I filled it out. I looked muscular, I had broad shoulders, like the t-shirt would hug my chest around here, and it would look tight around the chest. The sleeves always filled the sleeves out, right? And I looked big in a t-shirt, right? Because I was pushing damn near 200 pounds with the V-taper as well. So like I just looked big. I looked like I trained, right, in a t-shirt. But of course, the trade-off was that I couldn't post the shirtless pictures because I wasn't as lean anymore. So now I just looked kind of fat, right? So it's like those were the two results, right? Both at the end of the day basically served me the same purpose, right? When I looked big, I looked like I trained, I would still get the attention from girls in real life, right? So if I go out to a nightclub, whatever, I would still get the attention from girls in real life. They would see that, okay, this guy trains, he's got pretty big biceps and triceps, whatever, he's got big arms. he's got a pretty big chest, right? Looking like he can wear like he can fit an E-cup bra in that chest, right? And and like I would get pretty good results, right? I got pretty good results with both of these, right? But from the beginning, the biggest thing that I failed to consider when I started, right? So when I was still skinny, when I was choosing both parts, with the biggest thing that I failed to consider, right, was just the total enjoyment that I would have on both of these parts, right? Just like if I was to play a video game, you'd probably like start thinking, okay, the assassin, if I level up this assassin skills, it's gonna be pretty good because you'll be able to like assassinate people from close combat. But the mage is able to, cast these different spells after like I level them up, whatever. So if I grind out this assassin, I'll be able to beat the final boss in the end, because with the assassin I'm able to build the skill level. Just like thinking about all these like total, like at the end of the journey, you're thinking of the results, right? But the thing that I should have been thinking about is like, which path do I want to play? Which path am I going to enjoy? Am I going to enjoy playing as an assassin? Is it going to be fun? Or am I going to enjoy playing as a mage? Is that going to be fun, right? Am I going to enjoy bulking up, right, and just being big as fuck, or am I just going to enjoy being lean and like having an aesthetic physique? This is the biggest thing that I failed to consider, because at the end of the day, the results were basically similar. I can't really tell you between the two which one got me the better results, right? Both of them got very good results, I would say, right? Both of them still got me the thing that I wanted in the end, right? But which of them did I enjoy more, right? The lean bulk came more naturally to me. It felt more natural because it felt effortless to me, right? Because I'm having, like, of course, lean protein. I'm somewhat limiting the amount of food that I'm eating, right? I'm having like carbs before the gym, whatever, right? But because I've been skinny my whole life, like I'm just used to not having that much calories every single day. It sounds like I wasn't being fed. I'm just used to not having that much calories every single day, right? I'm just used to eating at maintenance or just like below my maintenance, whatever, right? So when I did the lean bulk, it was a breeze. It was effortless. I finished the lean bulk. It felt like I've just been doing nothing. It was just like, it felt part of life, right? So the lean bulk came very effortless to me. The actual bulk that I did, the real bulk where I was eating like 5 meals a day, that was a lot more difficult to me, because I would wake up at the night, like during the night, I can barely breathe. I would have to eat food. Like after I eat my 4 meals of the day, I would have to eat like another meal right before I sleep. I would have to drink like protein powder and shit. Like it just felt I would be bloated all the time. I had brain fog. I couldn't even think clearly because like my body is just digesting food, so that's taking up like all my energy and everything, right? So it's like, of course, I was like, you know what, I have to do this because like I still want the external results, like the thing that comes at the end. I still want the results, but I didn't really enjoy it that much, to be honest with you, right? It was fun because I could lift weights, I could push more weights, I could I could progressively overload every single workout, whatever the fuck, but I didn't really enjoy it that much as I enjoyed the lean bulk, right? So it's like both of the things got me the results, but which one did I enjoy more? Probably the lean bulk, right? And at the end of the day, the more you really think about it, right? Like the lean aesthetic physique is always going to get you the results better than even the bulking, like just being big, right? The lean aesthetic physique is always going to get you the results. It's just that the results probably weren't as great the first time I did it because I didn't have a lot of muscle mass on my frame, right? I'd only trained for 7 months. I'd only put on like 16 pounds of muscle. I didn't have a lot of muscle mass on the frame, but like in a year and a half of training, right, I've put on enough muscle mass for me to like really fill out the frame. So just being lean and aesthetic is effortless for me, and that's really like the path that I enjoy the most, right? So if you're really thinking like what should you do, and just starting off like me and just skinny, right, just think of which one comes easier to you and which one's probably going to be more enjoyable. You might want to consider trying both like I did. I tried out both for me to really know, like it's really just came to me after I've tried out both parts, that just being lean and aesthetic comes more naturally to me. So now I just know, and now I really just consider my overall enjoyment in the whole process and the gym and whatever, right? So that's kind of like the video that I had for you today, and you guys have an amazing day. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel.